Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another quick video today. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So the card we're going to make today is actually it's on page 13 of the July to December mini catalogue, which is coming to an end. It's called the stamp set is called Spruced Up, and we're going to use the bundle. We're going to use the stamps and the dies, and we're going to make this card here, but we're going to make it with a bit of a twist. We're going to make it into a gift card holder as well. So the front looks exactly the same, the inside is a little different. All right, so I'll just pop that out of the way and we'll get started. Now I've got, let me see, there's the stamp set and there's the dies. As I say, they're on page 13. The bundle is $62 and it's still available as of right now today, so you can still purchase it. The DSP that we're going to use is from the Gnomes suite, the Storybook Gnomes. It's a lovely blue snowflake paper. Blue snowflake paper. It's kind of a deeper blue in spots and lighter blue. It's a very nice paper, and that's what we're going to use to make the card for the front of the card. So what I have chosen is some Starry Sky, which is a lovely beautiful blue color. We've got Starry Sky for the card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We've got a piece of DSP which is 5.5 by 4 1/4. We've got a piece of basic white for the inside, 5 by, let me think, 5 1/4 by 4, and I've got a piece of vellum here which is it's going to have a 1/2 inch all the way around, so the vellum is 4.5 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and it's going to go on the front of the card. Then I have some scraps of card, different greens. I've got Parakeet Party, Shaded Spruce, and Old Olive, yes, and I'm going to stamp with those. I've got a nice gift card for the inside, a Tim's gift card. Everybody in Canada loves a Tim's gift card, so that's what's going inside. And I've got an extra piece of basic white which is 1 inch by 4. Now normally I would stamp and then punch everything out. This, I've cut the piece of cardstock to 1 inch because I'm going to punch it out using the trio of tags, one of the trio of tags punches, where you know it fits into one of the grooves. So I wanted to be sure I could get all my words on the card, like stamped on the card, and that it would fit in the groove ready to punch out. So we're just going to put that off to the side as well. We're going to start off by doing the stamping of the different trees and things we're going to use on the front. Let me not lose that gift card. So I'm taking the Old Olive piece, and in the stamp set here I have a lovely little set of stars. Okay, I'm going to take some Old Olive ink and I'm going to stamp tone on tone for these stars, and I'm just going to stamp them randomly because I just want, you know, a good mixture of stars all over the place. Whoops. I'm going to turn the stamp over because on the other side of the stamp I have a nice Christmas tree. We're done with this, and I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen, and I've got a piece of Shaded Spruce card, and I'm going to stamp my Christmas tree down nice and firm. Oh yes, there. So we've got that. So we've got some stars stamped to cut out a Christmas tree. We've got a Christmas tree stamped in Shaded Spruce. We're going to stamp the sentiment for the middle of the card. I'm just putting those down there because we're going to cut them all out all at the same time. My inside of the card from the stamp set, I have 2 different stamps, and one is Merry, one is Christmas. I'm going to stamp that in real red. Merry Christmas came out nicely. Now the words for the sentiment for the front of the card. This is why I've cut out a piece which is 1 inch wide, and I've got two different stamps here. One says whatever brings you happiness, and the other says, whoops, may it be yours this holiday season. So I'm going to stamp the may it be yours holiday season first, and I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to line the bottom of the Y up almost right to the bottom of my piece of card. So let's see if we can do this. Nice. The other words I'm going to line up the part that says whatever brings you happiness. I'm going to line up towards the top of the piece of card. There. Alright, so we're ready to punch parts out for the card, or cut parts out. Let's do this first. We will take a pair of snips. I'm going to cut this off to about 1/2 inch beyond my letters on each side. Okay, there. That's about 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to take this and put it in my punch. I'm going to use the rounded edge of the punch, and this should slide in here like this and fit right in the groove there, because it's 1 inch wide, and that's why I cut it 1 inch wide, because I knew the space between here, this edge, and this edge was 1 inch. So I'm pushing that right up in there, right up to the edge of the punch. Chop that off. Take this out, turn it around, whoops, turn it around, do exactly the same thing again. Line the punch up, line the card up in the tracks, make sure it's pushed up to the top, and just punch it out. And that gives us a nicely shaped sentiment, and the words are all within the 1 inch piece for the front of the card. So we'll get rid of that. So now we're going to have to bring in the mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss, because we need to cut out some trees. Oops, it's here. So it's going to come here like this, and I'm going to move it out of the way for just a second. I'm going to find my dies. So we're going to take this one, which is the smaller Christmas tree. Now what happens is, this is a different type of die, and I don't know if it even has a different name. It's called Spruced Up Outline dies. Alright, and what it does is it cuts out the tree from the center of the die, but it also cuts out an outline. So we are going to put this down here, making sure we've got lots of room. So we're going to pull this in here, put this in between my boards, give it a run through if I can. Have I got the boards going the right way? Let's turn it over. And what you get is, of course, your tree that you punched, but when you take the die off the paper, there's also a little outline of a tree as well that we're going to use. So we're going to put those two to one side, get rid of that, go to the next piece of paper, cardstock, and again we get a tree and an outline, and then we've got some shaded spruce. Now the shaded spruce is the tree that that I stamped, so I need this die to be lined up really well to cut out this tree. And again we've got a lovely tree, oh, that cut out nicely, and we've got an outline again. So we've got 3 trees and 3 outlines, but I want one more outline, I think. because you know you always have an odd number of things. Oops. There we go. Now we end up with an extra tree, but that's okay because the tree just goes in the box, you know, the box of spare parts that everybody has. All right, just take a second here or two to clean up, give myself some room. And we'll pull back some parts that we've got here. There. The other tree we're not going to use, we're going to use that. All right. So we're going to bring in the card now. And we're going to do a little bit of cutting on the card first of all. So we're going to bring in the paper trimmer. We're going to line the card up with the crease, which is 4 1/4 inches. So you can line your card up at 4 1/4 inches. Move your cutting blade to the top and you're going to cut down the seam about 1 inch. All right, it's about 1 inch. If it's 1 inch and a bit, doesn't matter. Okay, you're then going to take your card. Do I have a pen? I'm putting a mark on my card here where I've cut it at 1 inch because I'm going to cut that off anyway, and I'm going to line that piece up in my paper cutter in the crease. I need to line this up. The point on my card is in my crease. I'm going to hold that and pivot the top so that that crease is in there too. That mark that I just made is in there. Then I'm going to bring my blade up so that it's over. Just a minute. I'm going to bring my blade up so that it's over the edge of my card, because you can't start a cut on a point. It just doesn't work. Okay, so you need to bring your blade up over your card, put it down and press, bring your blade down so you've just cut through the point of your card, and then when you go back up you can cut all the way up to your mark. And if you stop a little bit early, that's okay, because then you can pull that off. You can take your snips and trim off the little fuzzy bit where you missed. There. I'm just taking that off, that little snip, just because my card wasn't quite straight. I'm then going to take this piece that I've just cut off. I'm taking my ruler, oops, and I know because I've cut 1 inch off that this piece of card is about 4 and about 4 1/2 to where I cut it off. So I'm going to take, and I want to mark this piece. I'm setting it the same way. So I want to mark 4 1/2 or 4 1/4 inches up that side. And I'm just going to put a little pen mark again. Four and a quarter, and I know that my card front is 4 1/4, so I'm going to make it just a little shorter along the bottom, and I'm going to measure along the bottom to about 4 1/8, maybe even just 4. Okay, so I've got a piece here and I've marked it at 4 1/4 on the longer side and 4 along the bottom, and I marked it with my pen so that I can see it, and I'm going to cut again from the one mark down to the other, so I can line up those marks in my paper cutter in the crease. And this is going on the inside of the card. Honestly, if it's not perfect, nobody's going to see it. There, and I've sliced that off. Get rid of that piece. So I've got this piece. I'm now going to glue this piece to the inside of here like this. So we'll get rid of the paper cutter. Now I'm going to use Stamp and Seal Plus because I don't want this to come apart. Now I could also use liquid glue, but the reason I'm not using liquid glue is because I don't know how, I can't control how far into my card the liquid glue will spread. So I'm just going to use my Stamp and Seal Plus, and I'm going to look at this, and then I'm going to think, okay, it's got to go down that side and along the bottom. So I'm just moving this out of the way, and I'm trying to stick as close to the edge of this card as I can. Now I'm off the edge there. So see, I wasn't straight here. I went off the edge of the card there with my adhesive. So I'm just going to roll my fingers over that and roll it back out of the way. And then I'm going to put this on the inside of my card to make a pocket. You just feel, I can see a little edge there. Now, the trick to this is, you see, you still need your card to close. So you can't put this piece right up against the crease, and that's why you cut it an 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch shorter than the front of the card, but you can get it pretty close. Okay, so I'm just looking at this, and I want this to go as close to the bottom as I can, and there it is along there. Now I did not put any adhesive on here because that forms the pocket for my card that's going to hold my gift card when I put it together. And you see my card still closes, and I'm just going to give it an extra little burnish just to make sure it lies down and stays down. So now we're going to take this piece of beautiful DSP, and we're going to put it right down to the corner and to the edge. It's a card front. It's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So let me just get some. Now the other thing is, sorry, we're going to put it here. So we're going to put the adhesive on here because we don't want to glue this to the top of the card. You see, we want that piece to float. So this gets glued down firmly to the bottom of the card like that, and this piece just hangs there. I'm going to use liquid adhesive for this because I'm gluing paper to cardstock, and that will let me slide that around if I need to. And I really should be gluing on my other mat, not this mat. I should be using my silicone mat, which I have right here. So let me move that one out of the way. There. So there is my adhesive, my liquid adhesive. And I've just realized I'm making this whole video upside down. Okay, we're gonna flip right now because I think, other than the stamping, we should be okay. Goodness. And so I'm putting this right down to the bottom of the card and right up against the seam. We can put the piece on the inside while we're here, just like this. I'll have an 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Give it a little slide to put it in place. There. There we are. Close up the card. We're going to take the piece of vellum and we're going to put this right in the center of the front of the card. So I'm going to use just a couple of strips of Stamp and Seal Plus, and because I cut the vellum to 4.5 by 3 1/4, I've got a 1/2 inch border all the way around. So now we're ready to put the trays on the card. Now, so this tray we're going to put, let's put him about here. So now we've got, let's take this one, and I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals. Stick a couple of dimensionals on him just for lots of support. And we're going to put him off to the side here and maybe just a little bit lower, stagger him down. There. Now I'm going to put this tree here on the card, so I know that I could put adhesive down this side because that's going to stick to this part of the card here, okay? And I'm going to just pop him like that, and yeah, so I can put adhesive down this side. Let's take this one and we'll put it here, I think. We'll put him on dimensionals again. Alright, so what else do we have? We've got this and this and this. Let's put this one, how about we put this one in the middle? There, yeah, we'll put him on dimensionals. Him there. I put ink on my hands, glue on my hands again. And we've got one last tree frame, and it's going to go here. So because it's going to overlap those two trees, I can there again glue. I can put adhesive down this side again. There. So I think we're done with the liquid adhesive. We've got a sentiment here to put on the front. One, 2 and 3. I just need to see where this dimensional is. This dimensional is in the wrong spot. Let me peel them off. Maybe I just need 2. Get that out of the way. Now I need some gems to finish it off. Now on my first card I used some old, very, very old basic jewels, they were called, and they looked lovely. They're sparkly. I'm going to try on this one to use some of these elegant faceted gems. Let's see what we've got. And again, the elegant faceted gems are not new gems. These are older gems. And I have to say they don't show up nearly as well as the older basic jewels. You see, they've got a bit of sparkle to them. These ones, they show nicely on the card, but they just are not as sparkly. Now when I'm looking at this, I don't think my sentiment is straight, so I'm going to try and peel it off. And it worked quite well because the dimensional is on the vellum, and then I'm going to set it up straight. There. So there you have it. Nice card. And where is the Tim's card? Here it is. You slide the Tim's card or your gift card in there. I apologize for the beginning of the video where I forgot to turn everything around, so you are looking at everything, you know, the right way up. I'm sorry, but I think you know what I meant. You know, you watched me stamp. You know, you can always stamp upside down if you have to. So there it is. This card was cased from the July to December mini catalogue. It was on page 30, I believe. No, page 13 of that catalogue, and I just updated it a little bit and made a gift card inside. So as always, feel free to copy and share if you would like to, and if you sell your cards, be sure to put the Stampin' Up Angel stamp on the back, which just says all the supplies used were Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.